Today is December 9th. It's the 344th day of the year, and this is the On This Day podcast. Born on this day in 1906, U.S. Navy Rear Admiral and pioneering computer scientist Grace Hopper. Hopper is born Grace Murray in New York City. She's a very curious child, and she likes to figure out how things work. And she does that by pulling them apart, such as an alarm clock that she disassembles to see how it's put together. And when she can't get it reassembled, she finds another alarm clock in the house and takes that apart, and then another one, until her mother discovers 7-year-old Grace surrounded by the various pieces and parts that once made up several of the family's alarm clocks. Rather than punishing young Grace, her mother gives her one alarm clock to practice on, disassembling and assembling it. Her father doesn't have much money, but he believes his daughters should have the same educational opportunities as his son. Grace attends Vassar College in 1924, graduates in 1928, and earns a master's degree and then a PhD in mathematics at Yale in 1930 and 1934. She teaches mathematics at Vassar until the end of 1941 and the attack on Pearl Harbor. She decides to enlist and serve her country. But she's told she's too old, she's 35, and that she's too valuable as a civilian mathematics professor. But Hopper is going to serve. So she takes a leave of absence from Vassar, obtains a waiver for her weight. She's 5'6", but a mere 105 pounds, well under the minimum weight requirement. And in 1943, Grace Hopper is sworn in to the U.S. Naval Reserve. She proudly wears the Navy uniform for the next 43 years. She graduates at the top of her class of 800 officer candidates and is assigned to Harvard's Bureau of Ordnance Computation Project, where she's the first programmer on the Navy's Mark I computer, the first ASCC, Automatic Sequence Controlled Calculator. The Mark I is a massive behemoth that fills a large room. It's a mess of relays and vacuum tubes, and Hopper falls in love with it. She has no idea how to program. She's a mathematician. So she does what she's always done. She figures it out. At one point in her time on the Mark II project, there's a glitch in the system she's working on. She combs over all the parts and wires until she finds the problem. A moth caught in a relay wire. She removes the bug and tapes it to a report detailing the debugging process, after which the system works again, and after which any program problems are referred to as bugs. The ASCC computers have been designed to process complex mathematical calculations, but for Hopper, the math-based coding language is cumbersome and time-consuming. After her time at Harvard, she works at the Eckert-Mauchly Computer Corporation, later Sperry Rand, where she develops a faster computer, the UNIVAC-1, the Universal Automatic Computer, and oversees development of a new programming language, one that is English-based, one that is more user-friendly. BOMARC, it's called, which becomes COBOL, an acronym for Common Business-Oriented Language, one of the first high-level programming languages and one of the most universal business languages in use. Grace Hopper is ahead of her time. Naval historian Regina Akers says of Hopper, quote, "She excelled in a male-dominated profession and literally helped develop the Navy's first computer at a time when women weren't getting advanced degrees. She did these things during a critical time for the country and the Navy." And Hopper's biographer, Kathleen Williams, adds to that, quote, "She immediately took to the idea that computers would one day fit in a small box and not take up a whole room." Hopper retires from the Navy in 1986 at the age of 79 as a Rear Admiral and one of the longest-serving officers in Navy history. Rear Admiral Grace Hopper, born on this day in 1906, passes away in 1992 at the age of 85. She's posthumously awarded the Medal of Freedom in 2016. The guided missile destroyer USS Hopper is named for her. And once the U.S. Naval Academy's new Center for Cybersecurity Studies building is finished, it will be named for Grace Hopper, the mother of computing. There are 22 days left in the year. On This Day is produced by me, Dave Schultz. Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to enjoy the music today.